Chosen one, there is a storm gathering beyond what your eyes can see. And at the center of it is your daughter. She's quiet now. Don't laugh like before. Something's changed. And no one sees it, but you do. This isn't paranoia. It's perception. While others focus on grades and moods, you've sensed something deeper, something spiritual. There's a storm gathering not with thunder or wind, but in the unseen, where futures are formed or stolen. And at the center of it is your daughter. Luke 8:17 says, "Nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest." You didn't hear a crash, you didn't see a sign, but you felt it, like the soft click of a door closing in silence. No one noticed, but your spirit did. Something has entered, not just her room, but her destiny. And if heaven is showing you this now, it's because you're meant to respond. This message didn't find you by accident. It's not content. It's a calling. You are the one who won't look away, who won't dismiss the weight, who was born to intervene. This isn't fear. It's the beginning of revelation. Stay awake. She needs you to be. This message didn't find you by accident. It was sent, marked, delivered, and timed. Heaven doesn't waste revelation. If you're still here, it's because you were chosen to hear it. You felt the weight building, not just in her life, but deep in your spirit. Then one night, you woke up. No sound, no nightmare, just tears. You sat on the edge of the bed, holding your chest, not in fear, but in knowing. That wasn't insomnia. It was invitation. While the world slept, heaven stirred. The Archangel Michael has stepped forward not as a myth, but as an assignment. The whisper of eternity has reached you because you've been watching, because you've been praying, because you notice what others ignore. You saw the change in her smile, heard the silence in her words, felt the shift no one else could explain. This isn't emotion, it's discernment. Heaven is briefing you because the Spirit knows you are awake, not perfect, not powerful, but sensitive, ready. This isn't fear, it's clarity. You're not crazy, you're being called, and heaven just confirmed it. It doesn't always look like danger. Sometimes it looks like a new friend, a new app, a new idea. But what you're feeling is a net being drawn around her. Culture, curriculum, conversations. Not all of it is evil, but not all of it is neutral either. It starts subtly. She joins a harmless group online. At first they seem kind, supportive, like a community. But by the time you realize what's underneath, it's already shifting how she sees herself, how she talks, what she values, what she no longer questions. There was a 13-year-old girl, smart, quiet, curious. She found a safe space online, or so they called it. It looked like support, until it started telling her who to be, how to feel, and what not to tell her parents. Luke 8:17 says, "Nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest." That's why you're seeing this now. Because what was meant to stay hidden, God is bringing into your light. You didn't go searching, you were shown. And if heaven revealed it to you, it's because you were meant to break it. This is your moment to cut the net before it tightens. You thought no one saw it. That tear you wiped away in the dark. That whisper you prayed between laundry and exhaustion. That one-sentence prayer you repeated over and over when you didn't know what else to say. But heaven saw, heaven heard. Psalm 56:8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle, every sigh, every sleepless night. Every "Lord, just protect her" was recorded. There was a mother single, tired and barely holding on. She didn't know the right scriptures, didn't have fancy prayers. But every day before her daughter left for school, she whispered the same thing: "Cover her, Lord." That daughter began spiraling. Depression, isolation, even thoughts of ending it all. But one night something shifted. The girl broke down, not in destruction, but in surrender. She came to her mother and wept. They both did. It wasn't a sermon, it wasn't a conference. It was a mother's unseen intercession that cracked through the darkness. And now here you are, feeling the same ache, asking the same questions. So hear this: your prayers are not small, your love is not invisible, and your voice in heaven is not silent. This is why you're here, not just as a parent, as a protector. What you cover in prayer, God covers in power, and He is not late. He is listening. You are not overthinking. You are discerning. There's a difference between anxiety and alertness. And deep down, you know this isn't just a mood. It's a message. There was a grandmother, quiet and kind. One evening, as she stood at the window, a strange feeling swept over her. The room was calm, but she couldn't shake the sense that something was wrong. The porch light glowed warm across the glass, but behind that comfort, she sensed a shadow. Not outside the house, but around her granddaughter's heart. The next day, she learned the girl had started spending time with friends who carried darkness behind their charm. It hadn't shown up in grades or behavior yet, but heaven whispered before the evidence appeared. That's how God works with those who are awake. Esther 4:14 says, "Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. This isn't a coincidence. This is calling. The weight you feel is not a weakness. It's wisdom. You're not imagining the shift. You're intercepting it. Because when God trusts you with revelation, He's also trusting you with your response. You are not late. You are not crazy. You are appointed. And this is your moment." She's not just your daughter. She's a design, a destiny in motion. Heaven didn't just give you a child. He gave you a blueprint. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This means her life wasn't an accident. She wasn't random. She was marked, chosen, strategically placed on earth and in your care. But what God forms, the enemy tries to deform. The attack isn't about her behavior. It's about her blueprint. It's about what she carries. It's about the lives her obedience will impact, the chains her voice will break, the light her presence brings into dark rooms. But darkness doesn't always come with violence. Sometimes it comes with slow erasure. Imagine a masterpiece on a canvas, beautiful, intricate, divine. Then slowly, line by line, someone begins drawing over it with lies, insecurity, confusion. That's what the enemy wants to do. Not destroy her overnight, but distort her identity until she forgets who she is. But God saw ahead, and that's why you were placed beside her. Not just to raise her, but to remind her. To speak what heaven said when she forgets it herself. She's not just a girl in this world. She's a sacred assignment. A tear from heaven with a purpose. And your role is to guard the design until she steps into it. They're already moving. Behind smiles, through screens, with charm. The plan isn't loud. It's subtle, strategic, almost invisible to those who aren't watching closely. But you've seen it even if you didn't have the words for it. It starts with a new friend, someone harmless, someone kind. Your daughter trusts her, maybe even calls her best friend. But what she doesn't know is that friend has a second account. one that leads to rooms where values are blurred, identity is fluid, and truth is negotiable. And little by little, the change begins. She starts using different words, dressing with a message she doesn't yet understand, reacting to things with a new tone, one that feels foreign to your ears. And when you ask questions, she grows quiet or defensive, because the net has already touched her mind. This isn't rebellion. It's a redirect. They don't need to remove her from your house to remove her from your influence. All they need is access, a window, a whisper. But now, heaven has revealed it, not to scare you, to awaken you. Because if you don't name the threat will name her future. You have authority, not just in speech, but in spirit. You are not powerless, you are positioned. And this moment isn't about controlling her life, it's about guarding her light. They're moving fast, but now, so will you. Culture is not neutral. It's never been. Every trend teaches, every scroll shapes, every sound, every clip, every post preaches something. And your daughter, she's listening. She's learning what to value, not from scripture, but from what gets liked. She's being discipled not by wisdom, but by the algorithms that reward performance exposure and curated perfection. She measures her worth in views, her beauty in filters, her identity in comparisons. And the danger is subtle, because it doesn't come with a warning label. It comes with a song, a dance, a viral quote. And while it entertains, it rewrites. It rewrites how she sees herself, how she defines womanhood, how she dreams, feels, chooses, trusts. You can't stop the noise, but you can be the voice that anchors her. Because here's the truth. There is no neutral ground. Someone is always discipling her. But the most powerful influence in her life is still you. Not because you say the most, but because you love the deepest. Because your presence, even in silence, still speaks. You are her safest theology, her clearest example. And even when she doesn't show it, she's watching. So don't underestimate it. You are her truest mentor, even in silence. Hell fears the sound of a praying parent. Not a perfect one, just one who refuses to give up. There was a girl, maybe 15. She packed a small bag, hoodie, charger, some cash. Nothing dramatic, just enough to leave. She was tired of pretending, tired of not being seen. Just as she reached for the door handle, she heard footsteps. Not yelling, not questions, just silence. Her mother entered. No lecture, no panic. She simply knelt beside the bed and began to pray. Softly, tearfully, without knowing the bag was hidden beneath her feet. She prayed for protection. She prayed for identity. She prayed wholeheartedly, and something shifted. Peace entered. Conviction followed. Heaven filled the room. The girl unpacked the bag that night. She never told her mom what she had planned. But she never forgot what stopped her. It wasn't rules. It was intercession. Heaven moves when parents take their place. Your prayers do more than reach God, they disrupt darkness. Chains break when you kneel. Walls fall when you whisper His name. You may never see the full story, but heaven will. Because hell still fears the sound of a praying parent. Nyen, this isn't someone else's battle. It's yours. Esther 4:14 says, "Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. You weren't placed here by accident. You were appointed, not just as a parent, but as a firewall." The final voice before the silence. It's time to act. Not in panic, but with purpose. Do 3 things today. First, write her name, on paper, in your mirror. Let her name be before your eyes as it is on God's. Second, pray out loud. Let your house hear it. Let heaven echo it. Let hell fear it. third, declare God's promises, even if she doesn't believe them yet, even if you're barely holding on. Speak life where death has crept in. Speak identity where confusion has grown. Speak healing where wounds remain. This isn't about control. It's about covenant. You're not forcing her future. You're fighting for her freedom. Because someone must stand in the gap, and that someone is you. You are not alone in this battle. Not in the burden, not in the fight. What you see is only half the story. Because even now, help is moving. Heaven has released angels on your behalf. On hers. They're not watching from above, they're warring, pushing back darkness, guarding the edges of her destiny. Matthew 18:18 says, what you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. That's not poetry, that's power. When you pray, heaven moves. When you speak, boundaries rise. When you believe, battles shift. You may not see the breakthrough, but something is already breaking. While hell strategizes, heaven mobilizes. This isn't your strength alone. It's divine backup. The army of the Lord responds to a mother's whisper, a father's cry, a grandparent's tear. So don't shrink back. Her destiny is defended because you rose. Picture it a field scorched and dry, ashes where dreams once stood. But through the smoke, a stream begins to break open. Not loud, not fast, but steady, alive. That stream is you. Your daughter may not see the path, but you're clearing it with every prayer, every choice to stay, every time you choose faith over fear. You weren't meant to just protect her from falling. You were meant to help forge her future. She's walking through a world trying to erase her name. But heaven wrote it down long before culture tried to rewrite it. She may not understand your fight. She may resist your boundaries. But one day she'll stand on the foundation you're laying now. And when that day comes, she won't remember the storm. She'll remember the shelter. So rise. Not just for her survival, but for her calling. This generation doesn't need more noise. It needs covering. It needs parents who carry fire. You're not just saving a girl. You're rebuilding a legacy. Let's pause. Right here, right now, before the noise returns, before you scroll to the next thing. Take a moment, close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and whisper this: Lord, open my eyes, open my mouth, let me be the intercessor she needs. You may not have all the answers. You may not know what tomorrow brings. But this moment is sacred. Because heaven isn't asking you to be flawless, just faithful. You don't need to carry it all. You just need to carry her to the throne. Say this out loud, even if it feels strange. She doesn't need a perfect parent. She needs a present one. Let that truth settle into your soul. Because when you show up, when you pray, when you speak, when you simply stay, you become the answer to prayers you didn't even know she was praying. You become the covering she didn't know how to ask for. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not too late. Your daughter's restoration began the moment you said yes. Yes to loving her in prayer. Yes to fighting for her in silence. Yes to walking by faith even when it hurts. This is your yes, and heaven has heard it.